Hello guys, welcome back. So in today videos we're going to see Azure AD Connect. So in Azure AD Connect we have another one feature added by Microsoft recently. So we will go into detail about this Cloudsync and ConnectSync. What is the difference between both of this? And yeah, let's start. So as you might have heard this, like what is AAD Connect, Azure Active Directory Connect. So Azure Active Directory Connect, basically we usually to sync our on-premises AD objects to our Azure AD. So what we will do is basically we will install an agent. So this is the actual feature which was we have been using for the long time, connect sync. Okay, now they have changed the name, connect sync. Okay, so if you go here you can find here this is the option. You can see they have clearly mentioned manage your on-premises resources authentication configuration and on-premises infrastructure using Azure AD hybrid services. So if an organization is already using Azure, Active Directory in their environment. Now they are moved to Azure Cloud, or they wanted to leverage Azure AD along with the AD. So all the organization doesn't want to completely move to the cloud. So that's the reason Microsoft provided this scenario, so they can manage their identities from Active Directory as well as in Azure AD. So for that purpose, to sync the Active Directory objects to Azure AD, they introduced this product Azure AD Connect. So we have been using this product for almost number of years, almost a decade, we can say that. Okay, so this AD Connect, what we have to do is we have to download this Azure AD Connect agent. So again, this is the agent we have to download and we have to install in Windows Server. So then we have to establish a connection between on-premises AD and Azure AD. So it is a very pretty straightforward installation. You have to just download this file and we have to run this file in the Windows Server. So the Windows Server should be connected with the having the communication between the Azure AD as well as on-premises AD. So that is a prerequisite. So while we installing this agent, it is act as a bridge between on-premises AD and Azure AD. So whatever the changes you are making on the on-premises AD, that will replicate to Azure AD in 30 minutes. Usually that is a sync time. So that is a legacy tool we are using for Azure AD Connect. So what it will do is whenever you are making any changes in your user account, or if you are adding any attributes or changing any attributes or creating new accounts based on your configuration, the Azure AD Connect agent will replicate that to Azure AD. Okay, so that is how the replication will happen. So if you see here, because of we don't have any agent Azure AD Connect agent installed for our tenant, that's the reason it is not showing anything. If you have installed a few Azure AD Connects, then it will be showing those agents here. So right now we don't have, our environment is completely cloud tenant. It doesn't have any dependency with on-premises AD. So it is not necessary if you are only using a cloud environment, but if your organization is using on-premises environment, on-premises AD, then you may leverage this Azure AD Connect. So this Azure AD Connect, we can so do multiple actions, like we can configure object sync. Apart from that, you can sync your passwords. So all these things can be done, device write back, password write back, everything can be done by using this Azure AD Connect. So what is a new solution Microsoft bring for us is Cloudsync. So if I go to the Cloudsync, you can see here, this is also kind of same scenario. We have to again download this agent, we have to install into particular server, and then it will sync all the objects from Azure AD, Azure AD from the on-premises AD. But the one, what is the difference between the Connect Sync and Cloud Sync is, let's say if you are managing very large environment. So that time when you are syncing all your object from your on-premises AD to Azure AD, then it's need backend database. So for that, apart from you installing this AD Connect, you may have to install some database servers, SQL servers to sync your directory and objects to Azure AD. But by using this Cloudsync, this backend services like the all the configuration and the backend services, everything will be taken care by Microsoft. So you no need to do anything. You just have to install this agent on any of the server. It no need to be you have to install a dedicated server. But whereas in Azure AD Connect scenario, you have to install in the dedicated server. That is a recommended uh, scenario from the Microsoft, because micro this Azure AD Connect is a not a lightweight agent. It is consume a lot of space, and it consumes it need a dedicated CPU, because it's sync all the objects, right? So it need a dedicated server. So that is what a Microsoft recommendations. So when you are installing in multiple Azure AD agent for your high availability, then you have to dedicatedly give a server for a agent installation, as well as dedicatedly for your Active Directory servers. And if any database servers you wanted to, if it is a large organization, then you have to install some database servers also for this synchronization alone. But what Microsoft bring now is this Cloudsync. So you don't need to do anything. You just have to install this agent. This is a lightweight agent. You can just install on your Windows servers. Okay, whatever the servers it could be. If you are using for some other purpose, that is also you can leverage. That thing, that lightweight agent will do all the work what Azure AD was doing. Okay, so another good feature is, even if you are using Azure AD Connect in your environment, you can use this Cloudsync alongside the Azure AD Connect. So you can use your Azure AD Connect as a primary one and the Cloudsync as a secondary one. It does not harm anything. So once you are feel confident, then you can, if you want, you can decommission your Azure AD Connect agents and servers. But this is a scenario based solution they have Microsoft given to us. So and another one more good feature what Microsoft given on the Cloudsync is, if let's say if your organization is hiring some new companies, or it's splitting your organization, then that time you may have to move all your object to the different tenant, right? So when that kind of scenarios comes, let's say we take a scenario, your organization is going to buy a company B. Okay, so the company B, all the identities you have to bring to your Azure AD tenant. So that case, what you usually do in Azure AD Connect scenario, you will be installing the same scenario, like you will be first establishing a connection between the company B Azure AD, I mean sorry, not Azure AD, Active Directory, company B Active Directory, and your corporate network. Then you will install one Azure AD Connect agent on a dedicated server. Then those company B identities will be synced to Azure AD, right? So this is a normal scenario we will be using for Azure AD Connect. So in this Cloudsync scenario, you no need to bring the company B Active Directory into your corporate network. So it will be there in their network only. You have to just install one this lightweight agent, Cloudsync lightweight agent, on their network. Okay, so through that Cloudsync agent, company B Active Directory object will be transferred to your Azure Active Directory. So a company A Active Directory objects will be synced to your Azure Active Directory. The same thing, company B Active Directory object will be synced to your Azure Active Directory without connecting to your corporate network of company B Active Directory. So this is the advantages of this Cloudsync, and this is easy to configure. Okay, that is what Microsoft told. We haven't tested this feature uh, in my lab or somewhere, but as per the information what Microsoft documented, this Cloud Sync is a lightweight agent and it can be used for this kind of scenarios. If you are using a merger or acquisition kind of scenario, you can go for Cloud Sync. So maybe in future time, Microsoft will deprecate this Azure AD Connect also, but not very soon. So their idea is to bring this cloud sync. So this Microsoft customer no need to install dedicated Windows server for the backend database servers. So that is the whole purpose of this cloud sync. So I will be sharing the Microsoft link to compare the difference between cloud sync and connect sync. So on which scenario you can go for cloud sync, and because obviously there are some features may not be available in cloud sync, which is we already using in connect sync. So you have to first compare it, and if you're okay with the features Microsoft provided in the cloud sync, you can go for it. And additionally, to highlight, you can use this cloud sync along with your AD Connect also. Okay, so in this scenario, this cloud sync will hold all your configuration in the cloud, and it will take care of the backend needed resources or servers. So uh, you can uh, you can leverage this cloud sync if you don't want to invest much cost on infrastructure side for this synchronization alone. So as I said, I will be sharing the link, Microsoft link, so you can compare what are the features available in connecting and cloudsync, and based on that you can go for it. So as far as I know, most of the features are covered in cloudsync, but it's up to you whether it is applicable for your environment or not, right? Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.